Today, I'm going to tell you how hundreds of man-hours of work got destroyed in just 2 hours on our Space Engineers server. This is the Siege of Founders. We play on a Star Trek themed Space Engineers server, and while there are many things that make this server unique, the most unique thing about this server is the Territories mod that allows factions and alliances to capture and hold planets and the space around those planets. The Territories consist of a safe zone on a planet and a 500-kilometer radar around that planet, essentially giving them sovereignty over the entire planet. Like Eve, these territories can be sieged, and 24 hours after the initial siege, attackers can initiate a final siege, which will bring down the safe zone and allow the territory to be captured by the victor of the battle. This siege is between the Klingon and Cardassian player alliances, who are the most powerful and wealthy on the server and are currently at war. The planet Founders is controlled by the Klingon Alliance, but the Cardassians attacked during a time of low player activity and initiated a siege, quickly dispatching the minor defenses the Klingons left there. This action will set the stage for a great battle 24 hours later. "23 hours after the initial siege, both factions are staging for the final battle. The Cardassians have moved in their atmospheric fleet, and to their surprise encountered zero resistance on the ground. Meanwhile, the Klingons staged their fleet in orbit, waiting for the Cardassians to initiate the final siege before attacking. During the final siege window, all the Klingons have to do is destroy the ship that has the siege block on it, and the Cardassians have to keep that ship alive or re-siege if it is destroyed. As the 24 hours finally expire, the Cardassians initiate the final siege, prompting the Klingon fleet to move in from orbit around the planet. As the Klingon fleet engages the Cardassians on the planet, it is clear that the Cardassians have a vastly superior planetary fleet. At this point, there is a lull in combat as the Cardassians wait for the safe zone to fall. Optimistic for their victory, a preliminary GG is given by both sides. The Cardassians are sure they will win. When the safe zone finally falls, the Cardassians immediately move in to neutralize the Klingon fortress. Firing salvos of torpedoes and phasers, their easy battle and the victory earlier leads them to believe that they will clean up the rest of the Klingon forces handily. Despite overwhelming odds, the Klingon fortress holds strong and starts cracking the shields of the Cardassian assault force. After taking down the shields of some of the ships, the Klingons switch to thrusters so they can bring the Cardassian ships to the ground. With the Cardassian ships in the dirt, there is nothing they can do to defend themselves against the onslaught of the Klingon fortress. As the Cardassian victory melts away, they start to pull away to try and salvage what they could from the battle. The Klingon space fleet is waiting just above the fortress and catches survivors as they try and flee into space. As the dust settles, the Klingon victory is apparent, and they eventually reclaim the territory, slowly starting to account for all the losses on both sides. Looking at the ships on the ground, it's apparent that between the two sides, more resources were spent here than the rest of the server has combined. Bruised and battered, the Cardassian stragglers leave a note for the Klingons, ensuring that this would be the first of many battles between the two great nations. If you want to join our server and be part of battles like this, head down to the description of this video and click the link to join the Discord.